You feel like something is different. The same people, the same places, but everything seems emptier, more distant. As if the world around you is getting too small for what's beating inside you. And no matter how much you try to distract yourself, this feeling doesn't go away. On the contrary, it grows stronger every day. It's not an illusion. It's an awakening. The first wave has already begun, and those who have been called are already responding. The 144,000 are not special in the sense that the world understands. They are sensitive, intense, intuitive, often rejected, often lonely, but always guided by something greater. If you are listening to this right now, it is because your soul has responded. It has brought you here. It is not luck, nor is it curiosity. It is confirmation. The journey has begun, and you are a part of it. Stay until the end, because the next words may activate something in you that has been dormant for lifetimes. You felt it first, before you understood. Even before you understood what was happening, you could already feel it. That silent discomfort in the face of a life that seemed purposeless. The shallow conversations, the repetitive obligations, the social roles that never really represented you. All of this began to weigh on you. It was as if your soul was screaming inside a body that was trying to fit into a world that never fully welcomed you. And you tried to ignore it. You tried to be normal, but you couldn't. Awakening doesn't begin with answers. It begins with questions. Why am I here? Why do I feel so different? Why can't I be satisfied with what once seemed enough? This is how consciousness opens, not with certainties, but with deep doubts. And these doubts, far from being weakness, are the first spark of an old soul beginning to remember. You are not becoming strange. You are coming home. Many of the 144,000 have spent their entire lives feeling like they don't belong, like they're foreigners in their own family, in their city, at their job. But that feeling of not belonging is exactly what shows you that you came from somewhere else, a place that's not on the map, an origin that can't be explained in words but that you feel in silence. You always knew there was something more, and now that something is revealing itself. The first wave doesn't scream, it whispers. It doesn't make the news, nor is it recognized by headlines. It happens deep inside, in the invisible, on the plane of the soul. These are people who are beginning to listen to their intuition more than advice. They are feeling the signs in their bodies, in their dreams, in the coincidences that repeat themselves like activation codes. They are not becoming special. They are simply letting go of what they never were. And if you feel all this, it's because you're among them. You're not here by chance. It wasn't the algorithm nor luck. It was a calling, a direct sign from the source. And maybe you don't understand everything right now, but the very fact that you're listening to this with an open heart is proof that you're ready. The process has begun, and you're already in it. The separation begins in silence. No one tells you that the journey has begun. It just sets in slowly. One day you wake up and realize that you're more tired of people than you are of being alone. You start to pull away without knowing exactly why. Things that used to excite you no longer make sense. You try to force yourself to stay in the same circles, to maintain the same connections, but everything feels forced. It's like your soul is pulling you in another direction, and resisting it only makes it hurt more. This silent separation is not punishment. It is liberation. When the soul begins to vibrate at a different frequency, everything that does not follow this vibration begins to let go. People, places, thoughts. It is an uncomfortable process, yes, because often what goes away are old bonds, affections that you believed were eternal. But what you lose in this process does not compare to what is to come, because what is coming is lightness, truth, reconnection. Some people will call you cold, distant, strange. They'll say you've changed, and you have, but not in the way they think. You're not becoming a worse person, you're just letting go of the pretense. You're tired of roles, of masks, of rehearsed conversations. You want truth. You want presence. And so, without realizing it, you're starting to align yourself with others who are also awakening. This initial isolation is a kind of cocoon, a time of retreat necessary for your true essence to grow stronger. It is when you learn to listen to your inner voice without the noise of the world. It is when you begin to realize that you are not alone. There is an intelligence guiding everything, even in the midst of loss. And the more you accept the void, the more it transforms into space for the new. And the most beautiful thing is that when you least expect it, you begin to reconnect with other souls like yours. People who have also gone through the silence, the pain of separation, the emptiness of transition. And then, like magic, you understand nothing was in vain. What felt like loneliness was preparation. What felt like loss was alignment. You were being prepared to recognize who you really are. And now, you are ready to remember. The signs never stopped. You started seeing them. For a long time, you thought you were imagining things. The coincidences that seemed to speak directly to you. The numbers that repeated themselves without explanation. The strange dreams about people you had never met but that awakened deep emotions. They were just coincidences, they said. But deep down, something inside you knew it was no coincidence. Life had always been trying to wake you up. In the details, in the unexpected encounters, in the intuitions that appeared like whispers in the midst of chaos. But now, you started to really listen. Everything you feel has a reason. That unnamed anguish, that tightness in your chest in crowded places, that feeling that something big is about to happen. These are signs that your soul is activating, memories that your mind does not yet understand. And the more you open yourself, the more the signs intensify. You begin to notice synchronicities with an almost absurd frequency. People say phrases that respond exactly to what you were thinking. Sounds, lights, aromas, and bodily sensations begin to carry meanings that no one else perceives, but that awaken something deep and mysterious in you. The 144,000 are not awakened by doctrines or words. They are awakened by vibration. They feel when something resonates with their truth. They feel when something touches parts of them that the world has tried to silence. And that is why this awakening is so intimate. It does not happen externally. It happens in the invisible. While many remain distracted, you are learning to see with the eyes of the soul. And once you see, there is no unseeing. The phase you are living now is like stepping through a mirror. Reality seems the same, but you know something has changed. You can no longer ignore what you feel. You can no longer force smiles or stay in places where your energy screams for freedom. It is as if a code has been activated within you. A silent call to remember who you are, where you came from, and why you are here. And there is nothing truer than that. You are awakening not to escape the world, but to transform your way of existing in it. You don't need titles or absolute answers. You just need to keep feeling. Because the signs are everywhere, and now you have eyes to see. You are not becoming weak. You are becoming sensitive to the truth. What many interpret as weakness is actually your sensitivity awakening. Before, you could tolerate toxic environments, superficial people, and conversations that led nowhere. Today, all of this exhausts you. This is not ordinary emotional sensitivity. It is your vibrational field, adjusting to a new frequency. What previously went unnoticed now passes through you, and not because you are worse, but because you are cleaner, clearer, closer to your essence. This sensitivity makes you feel the pain of others, perceive lies even when they are not spoken, sense what is about to happen. You no longer want to argue, prove anything, or convince anyone. You prefer silence, peace, and retreat. And it is in this space that the truth begins to blossom. Your energy begins to select what enters and what does not. You begin to realize that most of the time, what tires you is not physical fatigue. It is the environment. It is the exchanges that drain, the bonds that imprison, the masks that suffocate. This new phase may feel lonely, but it is sacred. You are being guided to cleanse yourself, to purify yourself of everything that has been placed on you that does not belong to you. The soul needs space to shine, and that space is only created when you let go. Let go of what hurts, what no longer resonates with who you are becoming. And yes, it may hurt, but today's pain is tomorrow's freedom. You are creating space for the new, for the truth, for what is rightfully yours. Many of the 144,000 are going through exactly this right now. A silent, deep, invisible cleansing. They feel fragile, sensitive, out of place. But this fragility is actually a rising spiritual force. The ego screams, the soul whispers, and only those who are prepared to hear the whisper can make it through. You are among those few, and there is nothing braver than that. Don't rush. Don't beat yourself up. The process is unique to each person. But know this: every time you choose peace over conflict, every time you become silent to listen to your intuition, every time you step back to preserve your energy, you are aligning yourself with your mission. Transformation doesn't happen in public, it begins invisibly, and you are already on the path. When everything falls apart, it's because something much bigger is being born. There comes a point when it seems like everything starts to fall apart. Relationships break up without explanation, old friendships drift away, opportunities disappear, and the life you knew begins to crumble as if it were being dismantled by invisible forces. It's desperate at first. You try to understand, you try to hold on to what's left, you try to rebuild what's falling apart. But nothing goes back to the way it was before, because it's not meant to be. What's falling apart is what's no longer part of your path. Many of the 144,000 are going through this silent collapse, and as much as it hurts, as much as it may seem like a punishment, it is actually a profound liberation. The universe is taking away everything that no longer supports your new vibration. People, places, habits, beliefs, everything that was useful in an old phase, but that has now become a prison. What you are going through is not loss, it is realignment. Destruction is painful, but it is also the opening for rebirth. In the midst of chaos, you begin to notice something curious. Small lights begin to appear. New connections appear as if arriving quietly, but bringing peace. Intuitions become clearer. You begin to dream of unknown yet familiar places. You begin to write, to create, to meditate, to feel pleasure in being alone. It is your soul reorganizing itself. You are leaving the noise and entering the flow, from control to surrender, from mind to feeling. It's at this point that you understand you were never alone. Even in the moments when you thought all was lost, you were being guided. Everything that fell, fell to make way. Everything that left, left to make room for the new. This is no ordinary crisis. It's a calling, a process of death and rebirth that only those with a deeper purpose experience so intensely. The first wave is made up of souls who accepted to lose everything, to find themselves, who accepted to go through pain, to touch the truth, who preferred the solitude of consciousness to the crowd of sleep. And if you are going through this now, breathe. Because the worst is over. You are being reborn, and this time, nothing will be the same again. It will be infinitely better. The new vibration starts choosing for you. After the breakdown, something amazing starts to happen. You no longer have to force decisions. Life starts to lead you. People come to you effortlessly. Opportunities appear when you are at peace. Doors open when you let go of control. It's as if the universe starts to move you like a dance, and all you have to do is trust the rhythm. This is the new vibration, a state where you no longer live by the anxious mind, but by tuning into something much greater. This vibration is not something you activate. It is something you allow. When you stop fighting what you feel, when you silence the external noise and listen to your body, your dreams, your subtle impulses, you come into alignment. And in that alignment, everything that is not true begins to dissolve naturally. You no longer feel the need to chase answers or convince anyone. You just feel, and everything flows from there. And it's funny how things change. Before you begged for attention, now you prefer silence. Before you felt alone when no one understood you, Now you feel connected even in silence. Before you wanted to be accepted. Now you understand that your presence is your own confirmation. You no longer need to prove anything. You are at peace simply by being who you are. And this peace, though, is magnetic. It attracts, heals, transforms. The vibration you are entering begins to select everything around you. Superficial conversations tire you. Dense places suffocate you. And this is not arrogance, it is spiritual sensitivity. You are becoming a channel of light. And the clearer this channel, the more clarity you have, the more truth you feel, the lighter you live. It is a new phase where you no longer force the path. You become the path. And the most beautiful thing of all, you begin to recognize other souls who are in the same process. Your eyes meet, your heart recognizes, and connections happen with depth and spontaneity. No games, no masks, no promises, just presence. The new vibration takes you to where your soul has always belonged. And now, you are ready to live this with full awareness. Your presence begins to disturb those who live in sleep. As you awaken, something inevitable begins to happen. Your mere presence begins to bother certain people. Without you saying anything, without imposing any truth, the simple fact that you exist in peace already causes discomfort in those who still live on autopilot. And this can confuse you at first. You wonder why they are distancing themselves, why they are judging you, why they feel angry about something you didn't even say. But the truth is simple. When the light enters, it reveals everything, including the shadows of those around you. You don't have to do anything to make this happen. Just the fact that you've changed your vibration is enough to make an impact. You become a mirror. And not everyone is ready to see themselves clearly. Many will blame you, distort your intention, call you stuck up, cold, or weird. But you'll realize that it's not about you. It's about them. And instead of reacting, you learn to observe, silently, with compassion. The 144,000 are not here to please. They are here to awaken. And awakening is not always pretty. It shatters illusions. It breaks cycles. It pulls out roots that seemed safe, but that only kept you stuck. And because of that, at many times you will seem like the problem to others. But with time, you understand, it's not about being accepted, it's about being true. And those who really need your light will find it in the right time. This is where you learn to protect yourself, not as a defense, but as a way of respecting yourself. You start to choose better who you share your energy, your intimacy, your truth with. You realize that silence is a form of wisdom, that distancing yourself is often an act of self-love, that being alone is in fact being with your soul completely. You stop fighting to be understood and start living with ease. And when this awareness takes hold, the pain of separation dissolves. Because you understand that everything that leaves makes room for something greater to come in. People who vibrate like you, who don't demand, don't drain, don't judge. They just feel, they just share. And in this true exchange, you flourish. Without fear, without effort. Just being who you've always been, but who now, finally, you allow yourself to be. Silence becomes your temple. In a world that screams all the time, choosing silence is almost an act of sacred rebellion. At first, silence is scary. It feels like loneliness. It feels like abandonment. But over time, you discover that it is in silence that the soul speaks. It is there in the void that you begin to hear what the noise has always muffled. Silence becomes your temple, your refuge, your meeting point with everything that is real. It is in silence that you perceive the movements of your soul, your true desires, your hidden feelings, the answers you have been searching for outside. Everything is there, inside you. But it can only be accessed when you silence the world, when you turn off the voices, the distractions, the demands, and finally, listen to what you have to say to yourself. Silence heals you because it demands nothing from you. In it, you don't need to justify yourself, nor pretend to be strong, nor prove that you are right. In silence, you simply are. And being, at its purest level is the greatest state of power, because there, you touch your essence, you reconnect with your origin, and you realize that you don't need so much to be at peace. You don't need to be understood, followed, or applauded. You just need to be true. That's why, little by little, you start to seek out the external less. The anxiety of filling your time disappears. The need to be surrounded by people disappears. And in its place, a light, subtle, serene presence is born. You start to appreciate the simple things. A sunrise, a deep breath. A song that touches you deeply. A moment of silence that says it all. And it is in this sacred space that magic begins to happen. Because it is in silence that the universe whispers the next steps. It is there that you receive inspiration, revelations, confirmations. The 144,000 are not the ones who speak the loudest. They are the ones who listen the deepest. And if you already feel this call for silence, know that you are closer to your mission than you imagine. You always knew, even without understanding. Even as a child, you felt that something about yourself was different. While others were content with what was visible, you always looked at the invisible. You asked questions that adults couldn't answer. You felt presences. You sensed events. You carried a sensitivity that no one understood, but that made you see far beyond appearances. You learned to hide it, to fit in, to appear normal, but you never forgot. The truth remained there, dormant, waiting for the right time to wake up, and that time has come. You are beginning to remember, not with your mind, but with your heart. These are memories that come not from stories, but from sensations. You can't explain it, but you feel like you've lived other lives, that you've been to other places, that you've seen these people before. This is not imagination, it is reconnection. The soul is breaking through the veils of forgetfulness. It is bringing to the surface everything you need to know at the exact pace of your awakening. You don't need explanations. You need courage to feel. Because feeling is the most direct path to the truth. What makes your skin crawl? What makes your heart race? What makes you cry for no reason? These are all messages from the soul. Every deep emotion carries a code, and these codes are starting to activate within you. That's why certain songs touch you so much. Certain phrases seem made for you. Certain encounters change your life in an instant. They are reminders, pieces of your purpose coming back into place. And no matter how much you have tried to adapt to the world, no matter how much you have silenced your gifts, they are coming back. And now, you can no longer ignore them. The sensitivity that once seemed like a weakness is now your strength. The empathy that once made you suffer now connects you. The intuition that once seemed strange now guides you. Everything you tried to hide is blossoming, and the more you accept it, the freer you become. You've always known. You've always carried the flame. Now you're learning to let it shine, and that's all the universe expects of you. Not to be perfect, not to have all the answers, but to be true. Because when you honor your essence, you shine a light in the world, and that's why you're here. You didn't come to convince, you came to remind. For a long time, you thought you needed to prove something. Explain what you felt, justify your decisions, convince others of what was pulsing inside you. But today, something has changed. You realize that you no longer need that. Because those who have eyes to see will feel, and those who don't yet have eyes to see will feel when they are ready. Your role is not to awaken anyone by force. It is to sustain your own light. And that is enough. You are not here to argue. You are not here to win debates, to impose truths, to confront the system. You are here to remember who you are, and in doing so, to remember others as well. It is in your presence that awakening happens, in your stillness, in your silence, in your undemanding love. You don't have to say much, your energy speaks for you, and those who are ready will listen. Those who are still asleep may laugh at you, call you deluded, strange, exaggerated. But deep down, they feel something, a restlessness, a different vibration. Because when an awakened soul enters a room, it changes everything. Even in silence. Even without intention. The light disturbs those who live in darkness. But it also attracts those who are ready to see. and it is with these that you will connect. Naturally, effortlessly. You will find that the more truthful you are, with your journey, the more people will come to you seeking comfort, guidance, and healing. They won't know why they are seeking you, but they will feel that there is something in you that welcomes them, and you will know exactly what to do. Because the soul speaks the language of love, and you have always known that language. Now, you are just remembering. Your mission is not to teach, it is to inspire. It is not to impose, it is to live. And living truthfully is the greatest revolution anyone can make in this world. Do not underestimate the power of your presence. Do not doubt your importance. You are here for a reason, and that reason begins to reveal itself when you stop looking outside yourself and start trusting what is already burning inside you. The first wave is already activating, and you are in the middle of it. It's happening, even if it's not on the news. Even if the world outside seems to be going on as normal, something quiet and grand is unfolding right now. An invisible, energetic wave is passing through the hearts of those who are ready. You may have noticed, people are changing, questioning, feeling a calling that they don't know where it comes from. A deep restlessness takes hold of those who are aligned with this frequency. The first wave has already begun, and it is taking with it those who have already said yes internally, even without realizing it. It's not about merit. It's not about superiority. It's about vibrational readiness. The soul recognizes the moment when it is ready to remember, to let go of the old identity, to cross the veil of oblivion. And when that readiness arrives, nothing satisfies anymore. What once gave pleasure becomes small. What once distracted now irritates. The conversations, desires, and ambitions of the world seem to lose their meaning. And it is in this void that the new begins to blossom. The first wave is made up of those who are willing to break away, to let go of control, to lose structures, in order to rediscover their essence. It is a painful process, yes, but also sacred. You feel that you are being pulled inward, towards a deeper listening, towards a more compassionate look, towards an understanding that does not come from the mind. You feel that you need to change, but you still don't know exactly how. And that's okay, because the most important thing has already happened. You have woken up. You start to meet others along the way. People you've never met, but who seem to speak directly to your soul. Texts, videos, symbols. Everything starts to coincide. You feel like you're in the flow, that there's something guiding, orchestrating, aligning each step. And that gives you the courage to keep going even without guarantees. Because deep down you feel you're not walking alone. There's a greater force field supporting you. This wave will not stop. It will expand, it will touch others, it will open portals, and you are part of it. You are a fundamental piece of this change. Your vibration, your choice, your silent presence is contributing to something immensely greater. Even if you don't realize it now, every small gesture of authenticity you make reverberates. And this is how the new earth begins. Not with shouts, but with souls remembering their mission. You are more ready than you think. Maybe you still feel lost. Maybe you look inside and see more questions than answers. Maybe you think you're behind, that you haven't done enough, that you don't know where to start. But the truth is simple and powerful. If you're here, now, listening to this with an open heart, it's because you're ready. Readiness doesn't come with diplomas or certainties. It comes with sensitivity, with commitment, with listening. You have been through a lot. Pain that no one saw. Rejection that silenced you. Internal struggles that consumed you for years, and yet here you are. Still searching, still feeling, still opening yourself to something greater. That is strength. That is spiritual courage. The 144,000 are not chosen for what they look like. They are recognized for their ability to feel deeply, to fall, and get up to love even when they have been hurt. You are much more than you imagine. There is a light within you that was just waiting for the right moment to expand, and that moment has arrived. It is time to trust yourself more, to take small steps with your heart, even if your mind is still confused. It is time to let go of what no longer nourishes you, to choose peace even if it distances you from certain environments, to follow your intuition, even if it defies logic. You don't have to do it all at once. Awakening is a process, but each choice that honors your truth is a leap. Each time you say no to what hurts you and yes to what expands you, you align with your mission. And that mission is not to save anyone. It's to be whole, to be light, to be a beacon for those who are still lost in the darkness. And you can only do that by being who you are, with your doubts, your scars, your sensitivity. You are more ready than you think. And now, there is only one step left. Accept. Accept that your soul brought you here. Accept that you have a much greater purpose than you thought. Accept that yes, you are part of the first wave, and from today on, live according to this truth. Now it's your turn to remember and choose. It's time to stop running away from what you feel. You've spent your whole life trying to fit in, trying to keep quiet, trying to convince yourself that it was an exaggeration, too sensitive, too fertile imagination. But now you can't deny it anymore. Something bigger is calling you. And this call doesn't come from outside, it comes from within. Your soul is reminding you, nudging you, pulling you back home. Because you came with a mission, a frequency. A truth that only you can uphold in this world. It doesn't matter what they said about you. It doesn't matter how much they tried to make you feel small. It was all part of the oblivion. Now you're waking up. And when you wake up, everything changes. You start to see clearly what you once accepted out of habit. You start to reject what doesn't respect your soul. You start to move towards what really matters. And even though you're afraid, you do it. Because now, something inside you knows. It's time. The time to align with who you really are. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to say yes. Yes to your intuition, yes to your feelings, yes to the journey that begins silently but transforms everything it passes through. You are not here by chance. And if you felt each word of this video vibrate inside your chest, if some part of you cried silently while listening, if something lit up even without explanation, then you know. You are part of it. You are among the 144,000. And that changes everything. The truth is that you are already ready. You have already crossed the portal. You have already started to vibrate at a different frequency. And now, your only commitment is to your truth, to your light, to your own ascension. The world needs this. Because each person who awakens heals hundreds just by existing with consciousness. The revolution begins within, and you are at the center of it. If you felt that this video spoke to your soul, write in the comments, I am one of the 144,000. I remember. I accept. This simple act of writing is more than a sentence. It's a portal, a seal, an activation. You are ready. And the universe is already guiding you.